Ever since McLaren decided to change the whole team in 2019, bringing in Carlos Sainz and Lando Norris to push forward and get back to the front of the grid, their progress has been very steady. In 2019, they would finish P4 in the standings, finishing best of the rest as they look to be on the up with the young Lando Norris and the talented Carlos Sainz. 2020 was even better as they would get P3 in the championship, picking up several podiums and getting their best finish in years. 2021 would be a new challenge for them with Daniel Ricciardo coming in for Carlos Sainz, which was seen as a very good move. He would take home their first win since 2012, but Lando Norris would still comfortably beat him as he would struggle to get to grips with the car as they fell to P4 in the championship, but they still had promise for the new era in 2022. In 2022, it would get even worse as the team would drop to P5 in the standings as Ricciardo struggled with the car, but they replaced him with Piastri, looking to have two drivers with similar pace to help them go towards the top again. But so far this season, it looks to have gotten much worse for McLaren as they failed to score points in the first two races and were not even close. In today's video, we're going to talk about how bad the start really has been. Will upgrades help them climb back up the grid? And will Lando Norris look elsewhere? Let's get straight into it. McLaren has had a far from perfect start to the season as they just look slow and the races have not gone their way at all. Pre-season was far from ideal, with the car having issues with its brakes, and other parts of the car with Lando Norris was said to be very angry with the car as he was seen punching things in the McLaren motorhome. However, as it is every single year before the season starts, it is only pre-season testing, and the team could be hiding performance for the race in Bahrain. However, this was far from the case as Piastri would qualify in P18 and Lando would qualify in P11, showing that the pace just was not there. It was not a nightmare as of course points are not scored on Saturday but only on a Sunday. However, the Sunday would be much worse for the team from Woking for a number of reasons. For starters, Piastri would have an issue with his car, causing him to DNF, making it not exactly a dream debut in Formula 1. Lando would finish the race, but it would be far from pretty, and he would finish the last of the runners due to him having to make 6 whole pit stops due to a pressure leak on the car. The pace from Lando was there in the middle part of the race as he was able to stay with the Mercedes, albeit he was a lap down and was on much fresher tyres at the time. This was far from a good start to the very long season, but the team wanted to show that this may be a one-off and they would look to bounce back in Saudi Arabia. However, it wasn't exactly the bounce back they were hoping for as they aimed to score points for the first time. Piastri would get into Q3 showing that there was pace, but Lando could not do a second run in Q1, meaning he started at P19. The race was a good chance for McLaren and Piastri to score their first points of the season, but it would be an utter disaster on lap 1. Piastri would get front wing damage and the debris would then fly onto Lando's car, meaning he also would have damage. They both had to pit on lap 1, and from there, the chance of getting any points was over, and they have had the worst start of any team in the paddock for the 2023 season. After the first 2 rounds, they were on 0 points, the same as AlphaTauri, but due to them having finished higher, they were above them. 2021 was such a good year for the team, getting several podiums, a pole position and a win under their belt. But ever since the new regulations came into the play, they have been able to be anywhere near achieving the same accolades as they did that year. What are your thoughts on McLaren's poor start to the 2023 season? Will they be able to recover as the season goes on, or will they be stuck at the back of the grid all year? Let us know what you think in the comments below. Upgrades are a huge part of Formula 1, and they allow the cars to get faster and faster as the season goes on. In these new regulations that we saw last year, it is crucial that every team upgrades their car to see how far they can push the boundaries and try and get quicker as they all chase to be the best they possibly can be. Now, this year, due to there being a 3-week gap between Australia and Baku, this is the best chance for teams to bring in upgrades to the track. Over this mini break, which is due to the Chinese Grand Prix being cancelled, a lot of engineers will be working hard in the factories looking to make their car even quicker so they can compete with everyone else. This is no different to McLaren, but they have much more work to do than some of the other teams that are around them. Their car looks very draggy right now, so they will have a lot of work around the aero in the car and in the wind tunnel. Upgrades can only do so much for the performance of the car over a season, and the real work that matters the most is over the winter. Especially if McLaren is looking to fight for a championship in the very near future. Coming into the season, there are a lot of rumours that heard that the team were not happy with how the car came out over the winter, and they were going to look ahead at Baku as the real start to their season. So this is kind of promising, as it sounds like that they knew that the car was not going to be up to speed. So they then decided to work on the upgrades much earlier than the rest of the grid. Now, this is far from ideal for the team, as they wanted to have a better start to the season. But the upgrades that they have will allow them to get closer to the points and back trying to maintain that P5 in the standings that they achieved last year. But the real question is that, will these upgrades not even matter? Or will they make a massive difference that makes them a top midfield car? Guess we do not have long to find out. On to our final topic, which is surrounding Lando Norris and what his future may look like, depending on how McLaren does over this year and next year. Lando seems committed to the team, as he wants to stay with them when they build that championship-winning car that they have promised him. But it doesn't look like that is coming from him anytime soon. McLaren has to be able to prove to him that they are capable of giving him a car in which he can show his talent in. Giving him a car that struggles to get points will not allow him to win a championship that he wants to do. Lando in the past has had several offers from Red Bull, who are the fastest team right now, but he decided that he would sign a multi-year deal with McLaren. But we know that there is a clear interest in the Brit. You look from Lando's point of view, he knows he's a fast racing driver, and if he believes that another team can provide him with a competitive race car, he, for sure, will look elsewhere. Without Norris, McLaren in recent years would be much worse off, as he has pushed the limits with the car and has been given and performed to a very high standard. The ball is in McLaren's court, and they have to perform now or they will lose a top driver to a big team. It's now or never. This season could be the last for Norris if their form continues how it is, or he could stay on forever until he gets the first championship for that team, since Lewis Hamilton in 2008. Do you think that Norris will stay on next season, or will Red Bull or another top team tempt him to a top seat to fight for a title? Let us know what your thoughts are in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching this video, and make sure that you like the video and subscribe to watch more videos just like this one.